Hi everybody, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a very different kind of video. I think it's important for us to be honest with ourselves and honest with our viewers, and to show not only our successes and our best practices for best worms, but also to show our cock-ups when we mess something up and it has an adverse effect on our herd or our worms. So it would be bad of me, it would be wrong of me to not show you how I messed up. It was, I could easily just not show this video, or put in another 50 worms into this bin and um, say everything was great and they're doing fine. But in reality, I'd be cheating myself and you guys. So it's important to show you guys the downfalls and the pitfalls and the mistakes that can be so easily made when raising worms, or when you're keeping worms, or when you're using worms to compost food scraps. So let's go ahead and watch the video, and we'll do a recap at the end. Hi everybody, welcome back, and today we are just checking back in on our worm farm starter kit. If you were here last week, we fed this bin something peculiar, should I say. We gave it some ground up beetroot with carrots and sweet potato and some other stuff, which was used for wraps. And I also gave it some vegan shrimp. I've not been back in this bin since. It's looking a little bit dry on top, to be honest, and I'm a little bit concerned with how they've got on. This definitely can use a little bit of moisture. I did open it at one day and the bin had been sweating. I think this is the best way I can describe it. I'm not seeing any worms on this side, like none. Okay, I'm not going into the feeding zone yet. Oh, there's a worm. He's okay. Let's check on this side. Sometimes they like to hang out on one side over the other. There's another little worm. Interesting. And the feeding zone, let's just see in this little corner here. They do like the corners. Another little worm here. They do like the corners. It could just be because this bin is a little bit dry and they're not there. Ooh. That's the vegan shrimp. It's mushy. That's the beetroot. And it smells, no word of a lie, it smells a little bit rancid. That was the shrimp. So I've had a go of it, but my concern is I can't see the worms. Let's just give this some water. I'm hoping that I haven't killed my bloody worms. Because there were 50 huge big daddies. I see some smaller worms, but I don't see any large worms, unless they crawled out of the bin. This is not good.
This is part of the cardboard box that was as a base to capture any liquid. Wow. I didn't think I was going to encounter this today, that is for sure. I don't see a single Big Daddy large worm in here. The smell isn't as bad as I said it was. I mean, it was a little bit stinky when I opened up in the middle, but there was enough still, even though it was a little bit dry, there was still enough moisture on the edges for these guys to be able to escape if they wanted to. And there's ventilation holes in this box as well. But I can't even see big dead worms. These guys seem to be fine. I mean, these guys are in that vegan shrimp. I have never encountered that in my life before. And actually, now that I've mixed it up, there is good moisture in here. I think I'll just give them some carbon. Okay. This is the thing with bins. Sometimes you play around with them and you make a mistake, or you take a risk to see how they'll react. And sometimes that risk works, and sometimes it doesn't pay off. Yeah, they just don't look like they were in it. That is a dead worm. Try and get focus there for you. You see how they shrivel up? That's not good. So what this tells me is that I completely ruined this bin. I don't know whether it was the vegan shrimp. It couldn't have been the beetroot, even if it had tapioca in it. So that tells me that they don't like this konjac root. Okay, so we need to try and re-regulate this bin then. But to be fair, they've been through most of that shrimp. I just found one little remnant. Get some shredded fake cardboard in here to soak up some of that juice. Because the moisture level is a little bit too high, it's a bit clumpy. It's funny though, those little, there's still baby worms running around in here, and juveniles. I'm just wondering whether it was too acidic. I'm not going to give them any food, I'm not going to give them any chow. I was planning on feeding them a banana and then running a bunch of videos on myths about how you shouldn't, feed your worms citrus or onions and garlic, and I was gonna do a whole video, a whole series of videos on that. And I thought to myself, oh, these guys must have gone through all that beetroot by now. They'll be happy as pigs in shit. So that's not the case. That's really bummed me out. That's just some from the roots of one of the twigs, weeds that we fed them previously. Well, ain't that something? Goes to show, shit happens, and there's nothing you can really do about it apart from say sorry, boys, and not make the same mistake twice. Really dejecting, really upsetting, actually. Oh well. May you guys rest in peace. I know you haven't liked this video. I haven't liked this video, but it's only fair that we post it and show the pitfalls of sometimes taking some risks when it comes to your worms. And it is what it is.
So there you have it. That was an epic cock up. Seriously. I went back and had a look at what what I'd done, and it wasn't the food. Well, it wasn't the ingredients in any of the products, in any of the food that went into that bin. Everything was natural, everything's organic. I don't use any preservatives or fillers or synthetic materials whenever I create foods, and obviously the beetroot and the sweet potato is all natural. So what actually happened was I overfed the bin, and it's such a stupid and silly mistake to make, especially at this part of my journey when I should have known a lot better. Especially as, we've been feeding these worms quite heavy feeds, and there's not that many. There's only 50 plus whatever. Sorry, helicopter going over. I live close to one of the Sheikh's palaces, so we get quite a lot. I'd gone back and had a look, and we'd come out of giving them 3 or 4 heavy feeds. There was a succession of the cooked white rice, heavy feed, creates a lot of heat in the bin. They were fine. We came out of that. I think I gave them a whole bunch of celery, again, high moisture. They went through that. Then I fed them the vegan plant-based protein. That wasn't too bad. They smashed that. We gave them a whole bunch of weeds, and the weeds they devoured. We saw that in the video, but again, that's a lot of nitrogen to put in the bin. I should have taken the foot off the gas, given them some carbon, maybe some cardboard or some leaves, and let them sort of regulate themselves before putting another big wet feed in. And I didn't. I got a little bit overzealous and a little bit overexcited with trying weird and wonderful things in the bin, and it had an adverse reaction, and I ended up losing 50 worms. So, as a steward of these worms, as someone who is proud to look after them and take care of them, it's a tough pill to swallow when you make such a stupid mistake. But it's okay. Just take a moment, have a think about what you're doing, have a think about what you're putting into your bin, think about what you fed your worms previously before adding either more greens or more nitrogen, and maybe the quantities. If I'd have maybe given them the same feed but half the amount, they would have been fine. But I just dumped everything in as if there was like 1,000 worms in there, and left the bin covered up for a whole week without checking in on them, and you guys saw the results. So I hope you guys found the video useful, first and foremost. And please, if you've got anything to say, leave a comment in the comment section, critiques, call me murderer, whatever you want to do. And I already feel bad about myself, honestly. But it really, I hope this video shows you how easy it is to mess up and make you guys think twice about maybe some of the things that you guys put into your bin. As always, please hit the like button. Subscribe. You guys know that I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, not for monetization purposes, but to offer a feature that unlocks when you reach 1,000 subscribers, and that's going to be very interesting to a lot of people. And also ring the notification bell. You know what to do. Show your boys some love. Big love as always from me, and I'll see you guys soon.